Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Amiga A to Z, a series of explorations of the games for the Commodore Amiga. Today's game is The Cycles by Accolade. This was the 1989 release developed by Distinctive Software Incorporated. Now you may recall from the Atari ST A to Z series that Distinctive Software is where Don Matrick, later known for his work on the Xbox brand, got his start in gaming. It's one of numerous games developed by Accolade that attempted to provide a more simulation-like experience for driving games with the tech of the time. It's essentially Test Drive for motorcycles, but with more of a Grand Prix focus. It was reasonably well regarded on its original release, with Amiga Format giving it the highest rating of 84% and describing it as a classy racing game fractionally better than its predecessor Grand Prix circuit. Its worst review, meanwhile, came from The One magazine, who gave it 36% and said it was a game that wouldn't look out of place on the Commodore 64, except that's a slur on the C64. And they also criticised the sound effects for the bikes in the game sounding like they've stolen the engine from next door's Austin Allegro, which is a beautiful way of dating that review. Anyway, let's go play The Cycles.
Okay, here we are with The Cycles by Accolade. Not a game I'm familiar with, but it's basically Test Drive with motorbikes, from what I understand. Or perhaps more accurately, it's Grand Prix circuit with motorbikes. So that should mean a reasonably solid, vaguely sim-esque racing experience. Obviously, the sim aspect being dependent on the technology of the time, certainly. But yeah, well, let's give it a go. So first thing we do is we choose practice, single race or championship circuit. We select a difficulty level from beginner to pro. We'll leave it on beginner for now because I've never played this before. We'll leave it on single race as well. Enter your name. We'll have to use the Amiga 500 Mini, sorry, the A500 Mini virtual keyboard to do this. So bear with me a moment. I haven't figured out how to make capital letters work on this yet. Oh yes, I have. There we are. Just use caps lock. I'm going to say because the virtual shift keys don't seem to work. But if you use caps lock, it does work. That's good, isn't it? Right. Okay, and then you choose either a 125cc or a 500cc bike. We'll stick with 125 for now because hopefully that should be a little bit more straightforward. Depending on how the race goes, we may try the 500cc as well, just to see the difference. But we'll stick with this one for now. And we will race on... Where should we go? Let's go to England. Why not? Excuse the noise outside. Once again, with it being the summer heat at the time of recording, I've got the windows open and the fan blasting, just to make sure I don't die. Oh dear. It's not a good start, is it? Okay, so as you can see, this should be fairly familiar to anyone who's played a previous Accolade racing game. So you've got the road here, which I believe is polygonal, rather than simple vanishing point style. We've got some sprites for the roadside scenery and the signs that you can see because they're not scaling smoothly. They're sort of scaling in step, but the movement of the road is very smooth. It's interesting that they've gone with the approach of having the bike cockpit move rather than tilting the perspective of the whole screen. If you compare this to something like, what was that one that Gremlin did? It was Team Suzuki, I think. Team Suzuki was like a fully polygonal motorbike racer, and that really marketed itself on doing things in a sort of flight sim style, where the entire perspective shifted when you went round corners. So like the whole thing would the whole thing would tilt. But I guess with the bitmap graphics in the background of this one, that would have been a bit tricky to do. End of qualifying. And I wasn't the slowest. I was nearly the slowest, but I wasn't quite the slowest. Prepare to race! Alright, here we go. 3 laps to go. And everyone's screaming off ahead of us. Yeah, you really do have to slow down for corners in this. Sensation of speed isn't amazing, but I've seen worse. The fact that it's keeping the frame rate up quite nicely kind of makes up for that a bit. So it may not be fast, but it is smooth. Fourth. We're not doing a terrible job of keeping up with the pack. They are pulling ahead of us a little bit though. Tight corner. Oh, too fast. Too fast. Somehow I didn't lose a position from that though. Come on, get round. Need to start turning a bit earlier. Alright, lap 1 down. Yeah, either turn earlier or slow down more. Yeah. This bike doesn't feel super agile, which kind of surprises me a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know a ton about motorbike racing. It's not something I have really explored much before, either in gaming or in reality, so I don't really know much about how the handling of motorbikes differs from a car. I've always assumed that they would be more agile. But maybe they're just faster. I don't know, hard to say. Anyway, either way, we're gradually getting the hang of this. Through the chicane. Tight corner coming up, so let's lose some speed beforehand. A little bit better. All about speed out the corners. We have lost the front runners. Oh, that's a nasty corner. But we are also quite a long way ahead of everyone who's behind us, so that's good. Slow down. Oh dear. Oh, guess we're in third now. We're gaining on people as well. Oh, someone else fallen off. Someone else has fallen off. There's a back marker though. Look at things. This is quite good. Like I say, the sensation of speed is a little wanting. I don't know how different that will be for the 500cc bike, but it's certainly very controllable. And despite the fact that we're using digital joystick controls here, there's a good feeling of sort of proportional control. This is a really nasty one, isn't it? Oh no! Oh, pip to the post. 4th place though. Can't complain too much. Scooter Fox and Don Matrini didn't finish. Congratulations, you have set the best lap time. Hooray for me. Oh, and then the whole thing crashes. Okay, cool. Let's boot that up again then. I'm sure that's not supposed to happen. It's probably just a side effect of running this WHD load version. But it's not really a huge problem to get back up and running again. Right, so this time let's do a single race. Let's keep it on low difficulty. Pop my name in again. Today I shall be Pete in all caps. Alright, this time we'll take the 500cc one out for a spin. And this time, let's go to West Germany. Prepare to qualify. That's faster, by quite a noticeable degree. It's still not fast, but it is noticeably faster, which is something. It's a shame the background doesn't seem to be any different. It would have been nice to have a sort of unique background for each. Wait, maybe it is. Like the bit that's the grandstands is the same, but I think the rest of it might be different. Maybe we'll do one more race after this and just see if there is an obvious difference. So here, this is sort of Germanic farmland and trees and stuff. So if we try one afterwards, that should be an obvious, massive contrast to that. I don't know, Japan or the United States or something. There's always got to be one horrible corner, isn't there? Well, that didn't go too badly. I was the slowest, though. Well, let's see how the race goes. Well, the race begins with everyone piling straight into me and suffering no consequences. So that's nice. That's a good start. But it's alright. We will have revenge. You'll see. You'll all see. At last we will reveal ourselves to the cycles. At last we shall have revenge. I cannot think of or quote that scene anymore without thinking of a very silly piece of electronic music that my friends and I composed back in 6th form called Darth Vader Ate My Balls. which featured my friend doing a remarkably good Peter Serafinovich impression of him going, "At last we will have revenge on the Jedi. At last we will eat their balls." And that's that story. Sadly, I don't believe Darth Vader ate my balls is actually archived anywhere online, so I might have to do something about that. No, that's stopping. One can brake too hard. Yeah, these 500cc bikes are much more satisfying to ride. It doesn't feel noticeably harder, but just the increased speed makes the racing a little bit more satisfying. It's nice you've got the choice, though. So if you do just want to sort of pootle around at a reasonably low speed, then you can do. Whereas if you want something that's a little bit faster and slicker, you can enjoy that also. Speed out the corners. We're in the lead. Bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. Moderately tight corner. Not very tight corner. Bit of up and down action. Tight corner. Another tight corner. Oh god. Yeah, as racing games go, this is relatively no frills, but it is decent. It's fun, it handles well. It's presented nicely. It's unusual to see a motorbike-centric racing game. So I don't think it quite matches up to some of the other motorbike races on the 16-bit platforms like Team Suzuki and No Second Prize, but it's not bad at all. As I say, it's a bit of a shame we don't have the full tilting horizon for the proper stomach-churning experience, but the actual animation on the bike cockpit is quite impressive. Because there's several different degrees of rotation that it goes through. The rider hands are animated, which is a nice touch. So if you brake or change gear, then you see them manipulating the controls. It sounds a bit weird. It's like they felt obliged to use stereo, but they haven't used it very well. So like, the sound of my bike is just in my left ear. And like, the screeching tyres are in my right ear, and if there's another bike comes along, they're in my right ear. So like, you get some of that depth that stereo sound gives to you, but it's just not quite right. Well, somehow I managed to stay in the lead even with that disastrous performance at the end there. It's a victory for me. Very nice. You gonna crash again? Yay! Victory sequence. Getting sprayed by Joe Campbell and Don Lee. It's the dream. It's what I've always dreamed of. Crash? Crash. Good. Oh, disk is write protected. That's what the error was. I don't know how you change that in this, or indeed if you can. There's probably some config thing you can do on the USB stick. Anyway, let's do one more race and just have a look and see if the background's different.
Accolade presents.
Alright, single race. Oops. Okay, I guess I have no name this time. 500cc. Right, this time let's go to the United States. Prepare to qualify. Oh, it is different. It is different. I apologize for doubting you, Accolade. I apologize you for doubting you. That sentence didn't make sense. I apologize for doubting you. Oh dear. And suggesting that the people who put you together were too lazy to do unique backdrops for each course. But clearly that was wrong. Because we are now in a desert paradise. Oops. This is a tricky little course. Oh dear, God. If you steer too hard, it's difficult to make it go back the other way again. Get round the corner. There we go. That was not a good qualifying time. That was not good at all. But we'll see. No name! Worst. By quite a considerable margin. That's alright, we'll make up for it in the race. Watch this, everybody. We got 3 laps to redeem ourselves. Oh, too fast! Much too fast. Slowly, carefully. It's good that the different tracks seem to offer a nice variety of challenge. So, besides the difficulty level and whether you're playing a single race or a championship and the 2 types of bike, there's quite a few different ways to play this and enjoy it, depending on how confident you are with it and your own skill level. Not doing great on this course myself. You know, training lap. It was a training lap. Now we scream ahead. Then we get stuck on a corner again. And back into 10th. Alright, slow it down. Not that much. Yeah, we're not going to win this one, are we? Oh, he fell. Oh, God. I also fell off. Well, then. I guess that's that. Toad to pit. Did not finish. Well then, you have set the best lap time. Good. Anyway, I think we'll leave that there for now. That's given you an idea of how the Cycles works for Amiga. I suspect the Atari ST version is quite similar, but probably with worse sound, as Accolade stuff was fairly consistent in performance between the two platforms. But yeah, that was the Amiga version. I quite enjoyed that. Not a bad racer at all. Not a bad racer at all. Right, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.
Then have no problem with